Hey, you all, everybody. Coach Jeff here from New Horizons Life and Leadership Development. We all respond differently from one another in times of high anxiety, pressure, crisis, really. And we all respond even differently as individuals. I know there are some days that I work better under pressure than I have other days. Um, but I would love to be like, well, one of my heroes from history, out of the American Civil War, Colonel Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain, who was in command of the 20th Maine on Little Round Top back in July of 1863. Now, many of you might know his story and the story of the 20th Maine, but they had arrived on the hill at Gettysburg before the big battle of Gettysburg and had dug in on the hill. And after the battle was engaged, Chamberlain's commander, Colonel Strong Vincent, came to him and said, "Look, you are the end of the line. You are the end of the flank. You are the flank. You're it. There's nobody past you. You must hold this ground at all costs. You can't surrender this hill. You do that, and the flank is taken, and the whole Union line collapses." He said, "You must hold this ground to the very last. Do you understand what I'm telling you?" And Chamberlain understood. And sure enough, the Confederates were charging up over the hill, kept charging the hill, trying to dislodge Chamberlain and his men from Little Round Top. And of course, the 20th Maine and their fellow regiments up on the hill were all dug in really solid, and they put up their own fortifications and really dug in on the high ground. But the Confederates kept on throwing themselves at Little Round Top, trying to take that crucial hill. And there came a point where Chamberlain's men came and said, "Hey, we're out of ammunition. We've got very little, if any, left. What are we going to do?" And they were in a bit of a crisis mode, and Chamberlain faced his crisis. They were his men were exhausted. They're low on ammunition. Some had no ammunition at all. There was none to be had, and they had to hold that ground. They had to keep Little Round Top, or the whole thing would collapse on them. And his men said, we got to pull out. We got to go. And Chamberlain said, "We can't do that." And by the way, if you get a chance to watch the movie Gettysburg, based on the novel The Killer Angels, Jeff Daniels plays Joshua Chamberlain. Oh man, great movie overall. And that scene is just fantastic. Daniels does a great job as Chamberlain, as he does in so many of his roles. But you can almost see his eyes, his brain working as he's working through this. He says, "We can't pull out." He says, "We pull out." He said the whole line collapses. They'll just take the Union Army down. He said, "And if we stay here and fight," he says, "we can't stay and fight. If we do, we can't shoot, and they'll just overrun us. They'll just go up over the hill, and again the line collapses." And he says, "Here's what we're going to do." And they earlier had pulled their flank to back at a right angle, more or less. And he says, "We're going to fix bayonets." He says, "We can't run. We can't stay. We have one option. We're going to fix bayonets." He says, "And I want to right wheel forward, basically taking that line that was refused, that was pulled back, and we're going to sweep down the hill and drive the Confederates away." You can see his other commanders going, "What? We're going to charge?" He says, "Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We can't run. We can't stay and fight. One option. We're going to charge down the hill." And he ordered bayonets fixed, and sure enough, the Confederates coming up over the hill. And as Chamberlain assessed, he said, "You know what? If we're tired and almost out of ammo, they've got to be just as much, if not more so, charging up over this hill at us, attacking our line that's dug in on the high ground. They've got to be low on ammo and low on energy as well." And so they charge them down over the hill, and of course they rout the Confederate attack, and save the day. Wow, what a fantastic scene! Why did I tell this story? Well, like I said, I would, when it comes to being under pressure, under stress, whether in your personal life or in your professional life. I would like to be a Chamberlain at all times if I can. He did the right thing. Now, he defined the reality. Colonel Vincent told him, he brought it to his men. He says, we're it. We got to hold this ground or else our whole line collapses. We cannot run. And we can't stay. We can't just stay and fight conventionally. We got to do the unexpected. And there he defines the crisis, and he defines the reality. If we're tired, they're tired. If we're on low on ammo, they got to be low on ammo. We got to do something creative. We got to do something different. We're going to charge them. When we're under the pressure, when we're under the anxiety, and all that stress, sometimes it's hard to think clearly. I don't know about you, but my brain goes into a jumble. I start thinking of a million things, and I get afraid. I get afraid to even make a decision. Because what if it's the wrong one? Hard enough to come up with an idea, let alone to commit to one, with any kind of confidence that this is the right thing to do and it's not just going to make things worse. Wouldn't it be great if we had some kind of a pattern, if you will, some kind of a strategy ahead of time to know what to do? Well, we do. There is one, and I invite you to come and talk about it. Starting tomorrow night, Tuesday, September 13th, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, that'll be the first of 4 roundtable discussions in a series I call Leadership in Times of Crisis. Leadership in Times of Crisis, based on a mastermind by John Maxwell, that leadership guru who, he's nailed it when it comes to dealing with a crisis. Developed this right at the beginning of the COVID crisis. We are going through, you turn on the news now, and they're still talking crisis. In fact, that's the word they'll use. Watch it sometime. Count several times through the news broadcast. They'll tell us about a crisis. We got the economic crisis. We got the border crisis. We got the fuel crisis. We've got the Ukrainian crisis. We got the environmental crisis. We got so many crises going on. How do we work under that kind of pressure? How do we keep from getting befuddled and confused and distracted and scared? Well, one of the first things that a good leader does is come in and, first of all, understand what is a crisis. What is a crisis? We hear that word all the time, but do we really know what a crisis is? And the second thing is defining what is the reality. What is actually going on? What is our position? What are our options? What can we do? And what can we expect? What's the outcome? When we make this decision, what are our hopes and our expectations? Hey, I hope you join me. I put my contact information in or at least my email address, in the notes section about this little video, this little invitation. I hope you'll email me or use the messaging device on this platform and message me. Or, again, shoot me an email, and again, my contact information is also in my profile. You can give me a call or send me a text. Let me know you're interested. It's free of charge. 1 hour out of the day. Come and join in on the round table with us. Each one, there are 4 of them, one each week, each Tuesday evening, and they build on each other in a sense. You're going to get a lot of value if you sit in on all of them and participate. Or if you can just do 1 or a couple or 3, they stand alone enough that you get plenty of value. Imagine, what you'll be able to learn and join and be able to imagine and create, and how you'll be able to move forward. Not only to survive, but thrive, to stand out and shine in times of crisis, keeping yourself together, moving yourself and your team forward when everybody else is falling apart. Even just for 1 hour of your time. Again, completely free of charge. Just love to see you join in. And listen, by the way, feel free to invite others. Give them that email address. Have them get in touch with me. I'd love to have you there. So, again, starting tomorrow night, Tuesday, September 13th, 6:30 p.m., 1 hour only. We'll hold it strictly to 1 hour, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And join us tomorrow night, and hopefully the weeks to follow. Love to see you there. Hey, in the meantime, let's be good to each other out there. Take care. Bye for now.